Hello everybody, my name's Idiotic Synergy, and today we're talking about the Skaven Hell Pit Abomination. If you like rats which are inside of another rat which is inside of a big mutated rat, then this one's for you because it's just weird. I have nothing more constructive to say about it than this is the weirdest Skaven model I've seen for quite some time. I mean, where do you even want me to begin? Should we begin with the fact that it's a bunch of Skaven that are inside an even bigger Skaven, which is attached to another Skaven? It's so weird. I don't understand it, and I kind of like it. It's the weirdest model, and yet it's perfect in body horror because it just is such a weird concept. It's like, yes, let's have a bunch of Skaven just hide inside this huge Skaven. Like, it's like a haggis, a poorly made haggis, or a Skaven version of the Demon Calabar. Oh god, I shouldn't have said that. No one wants a Skaven version of a Demon Calabar, not even weird people. I mean, hell, there's probably an audience for that somewhere. But it is just a very strange model, and I like it. I like the fact that it's just pure body horror. Because it is. It's just a lumbering mass of Skaven, of rats. It's horrible. It is so horrible, though. Ew, I don't like that one. Oh, the paint scheme. No, the paint. Oh, mate. That one's the worst variant. Oh, what the fuck? No. Why does No, let's go back. I weirdly enough I prefer this one. It doesn't look so horror. This one just looks awful. It looks like a bunch of mole rats from Fallout just all glued together. It's horrible. It's so cool though. I love how it's painted. I think that's why I like it so much because of how it's. Oh, look at the back. Yeah, it's like spam. It's like a psychopath got a hold of spam one day and went, this gives me an idea for a model. Look at it. It's horrible and I love it. I do love it, and it's in plastic as well, so it's all good. I just. What do you want me to say about it? I mean, to be fair, I think I prefer this variant over the other one. I mean, yes, this one's really cool and everything. That's alright. However, I prefer this one because it is more fleshy and. What's that film? The guy that gets turned into a walrus. Tusk, that's it. It reminds me of Tusk. Yeah, that. I wonder if anybody's actually seen Tusk. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not that good of a film, but it is kind of enjoyable if you're into weird body horror. And it's not really a horror film. It's just this weird man that turns people into walruses. And to be fair, if this guy was, if the weird walrus-loving guy was alive in Skaven times, that makes sense. But if the guy was alive in, Warhammer Fantasy, I'm pretty sure he would do shit like this all the time. Just look at it. It's horrible. It's a mixture of it's got a joy mutant feeling to it, and yeah, I love all like the weird mechanical bits that it has. I mean, the weird mechanical bits are surprising to see, but it still maintains that sort of steampunk aesthetic. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it still maintains sort of like the steampunk vibe, I guess, would be the better word. I'm hip, I'm cool. I'm not. I talk about Warhammer as a hobby. Oh dear. Anyway, despite that, this is just fucking horrible. It really is. I can't look away. It is horrible. I just can't look away. But I am going to have a look at its rules. I do like the smoke effect up here. And to be fair, this thing wouldn't look outplaced in Lisa the Painful. It really wouldn't. Anyway, I need to know what it does in game, because it could be the most balanced thing known to man. As in, you know, it's like the best unit Skaven ever has, or it could be like movement 2 or something. I don't know what it could do in game, so enough with me rambling, let's just get into the rules, because the rules are what makes the models half the time. But if you just like collecting models for models' sake, I highly recommend it. I think the Hell Pit Abomination is quite a centerpiece to have. Though if you are going to paint it up, I highly recommend you paint it up as this, because this is just grotesque and I kind of love it. Anyway, rules. Sorry for wittering. Right, so these are the rules, and my god, reading these rules, they are just so weird, and I like it. What's the blob? I don't think the blob from the game Inside actually has a name, but it just reminds me of the blob. It's horrific. It is legitimately horrific. So the stats are movement 2d6. So minimum 2 inches, maximum 12 inches. Oh my god. Sorry, just the idea of you rolling like 2 6s and just having it shoot across the board. It's such a horrific image in my head. It's just imagine like a bunch of grots. They look over the hill and they just see this thing speeding over to them. There's fuck. Oh, what a horrific image. I kind of like that image though. Save of a 5, bravery 6, 14 wounds. That's a lot of wounds, but then again, there's a lot of Skaven inside it. It is unit size 1, thank God. Points 110, not 110, my god, I can't read. 210, sorry, and it's a behemoth. And yeah, I think it might be worth the points, but we need to see the weapons. So, Avalanche of Flesh. Range 3 inches, attacks, see below. Okay, so we need to see below for what it does. Basically, Avalanche of Flesh. A Hell Pit Abomination can rear up, beg your pardon, can rear up to its fullest height before crashing back to the ground, crushing foes beneath its sickening bulk. Yeah, this is just the blob from inside. It's such a horrible image. Oh, I love this thing. I want 5 of them. Can you imagine? Like, what's your army list today, Synergy? Fucking 5 of these, mate. Such a horrible image in my head. Oh, mate. Do not use the attack sequence for an attack made with an avalanche of flesh. Instead, roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in the target unit that are within range. You can re-roll any of the dice for this unit I can't read, holy hell. You can re-roll any of the dice for if this unit made a charge move in the same turn. For each roll that is equal or greater than the avalanche of flesh value shown on the unit's damage table. I nearly read that as a target I can't read. Unit's damage table. The target suffers 1 mortal wound. So when it's at full, what? So right. I just see dead there. I'm fascinated by it. Because it D6 result, if I see dead, and I want to know what the other ones do, but we'll get into that in just 1 minute. So, Avalanche of Flesh, so you roll a dice, and if it's 2 or higher, while it's, got all of its wounds, then this unit suffers 1 mortal wound for every 2, and you get to re-roll the roll if you charged. That's quite good, and obviously it decreases over time. The other weapons it has is Gnashing Teeth, range 1 inch, attacks 6 to hit, freeze to wound, freeze, Rending. Rending's on the damage table. Okay, so it's -3 at the top, at like the top brackets, and then goes down to 2, then 1. Okay, and damage flat 2. 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, rending 3s, 2s, or 1s, but damage 2. And then you've got Flailing Fists, where maximum amount of attacks you get is 6, minimum 3. You're hitting on 3s, you're wounding on 3s. That's a bit odd how you're wounding on 3s, because it is so big, but then again, that's probably just me. I kind of would like to see it wound on 2s with the fist, but nah, that's just personal preference. Rending 1, damage 3. Okay. Why is the rending so low, but the damage is quite high? That is okay. Now, no it can't. Fuck off. Right, so the abilities, I guess. Regenerating Monstrosity. They can regrow their limbs. In your hero phase, you can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to this unit. No. It's got 14 wounds, mate. What are you on? Wow. Okay. I'm not arguing, but 14 wounds can heal its. Okay. Why not? Warpstone spikes. Each time this unit is affected by a spell or the abilities of an endless spell, you can roll a dice on a 4, ignore the effect of the spell. So it just denies psychic powers that are done to it. It's like, nah, I'm not taking any of your magic shenanigans. Nah, mate. It's such a horrible fucking image. It's, mate, is there any lore stories about this creature? Like books? Because a Skaven book about how, like, a team of Skaven have to somehow create this thing would be fascinating. It's so horrible. Why can't it regenerate its health? Too horrible to die. I don't know if calling it horrible is doing it a service somehow. It is fucking horrible. But I like it. I like it. So, I also like how each of the rules has lore. It's not just like Warhammer 40k where it's like, here's the rule, and that's it. There's actual effort gone into like the descriptions. I quite like that. As it twitches in its last shuddering death throes, there's a chance that the Abomination's unholy I can't read. Metabolism. I can't. That's why there's no descriptions for 40k Synergy, because you're an idiot. You can't read. I used to do horror narrations, but that went out the window. Can you see why? Will restart one of its many foul hearts, or at the very least, that its carcass will disgorge the revolting tide of parasitic rats that... Who the fuck hurt you? Who wrote this? Seriously. I don't know if I should award them or just call the Samaritans. Anyway, that have been gnawing upon its innards. Yes, indeed. The first time this unit is destroyed, before removing it from the battlefield, roll a dice and look up the roll on the table. So, you roll a 1, it's just dead, mate. 2 to 4, the rats emerge. It's an explosion of rats. Everybody gets plague. All units within 3 inches of this unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, then it's removed from play. Or 5 or 6, it's alive. Excuse me? Excuse me, son? It's alive. Okay. It can just get back up with D6 wounds allocated to it. Okay. And any wounds or mortal wounds that remain to be allocated to it are neglected and have no effect. Okay, so if it died and lost all of its wounds and then get back up, it means, like, if your weapon did 4 attacks, or, like, 4 damage, and 2 wounds killed it, then it got back up. It doesn't mean, like, the remaining 2 damage does more damage to it. It's just nullified. That's... the idea of this coming back to life, and it heals itself. Oh, you can imagine, can't you, like, some guys attacking it with its, like, leader. Your opponent attacks this thing with its leader. It's finally killed it, and then it just comes back with 6 wounds remaining, and just heals. D3 wounds! I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it can heal D3 wounds. It's like, aha, I'm back, D6, I roll a 6, so 6, and then you get lucky with the D3 roll, 9 wounds! So, 9 wounds would put it here, wouldn't it? Because it's wounds suffered. So, 9 wounds. Oh, I hate how this table is labelled. So, yeah, it would put it here. Or... no, it wouldn't. Yes, it would. Or here. One of these two. I don't like how it's like wounds suffered and then it's like backwards. I would prefer it if they just flipped it and it just said wounds, because I think that would make more sense. But hey, I'm not the game designer, and I really like this unit. It is disgusting. And I want 5 of these. There is nothing stopping me wanting 5 of these. Apart from how expensive it all is because of the price rise. That's the one bad thing about doing this now. Is that after the price rise, I've seen how much the start collecting boxes are. Sorry. Not battle forges. I forgot what they're called. But I'm just going to call them start collecting. I've seen how much the start collecting boxes are now. £95 they are. £95. That genuinely hurts my soul, because I thought that the price rise wouldn't affect the new start collecting boxes. But they have, so... oh well. It is what it is. And honestly, yeah, if you can get it cheaper from anywhere else, do that. Anyway, I've been Idiotic Synergy. You don't need to listen to me moan. And I do recommend this unit. It seems like such a fun unit to use. It is so janky and weird. It really is such a weird and wonderful unit. And it's just grotesque. It really is. And I kind of wish there was something like this in 40k. For like, mate, would this work for Death Guard or, well, Nurgle in general, or Orcs? I think this might work more with Death Guard. Just have like a supercharged, I don't know, like have a weird experiment like Nurgle Demon gone wrong, and have like a bunch of Nurglings pilot it. Like this, it would be such a weird unit. I think Nurgle Demons as a whole would have something like this. Anyway, I've been Idiotic Synergy. I'll see you next time. Remember, take care, stay safe, and look after each other. The next video will be... I have no idea. I've got a Necromunda game tomorrow. It's my last one. And then I can get to work on my Ogryns. My Ogryns. My Ogryns won't win a game, but I don't care. One of them's got a drum. That's all I care about. There's just an Ogryn I have with a drum. Anyway, I will stop talking. See you later. And thanks for the support. It means a lot.